Okay, good morning, everybody. Got an exciting deck today. Okay, so Reanimator has always had the classic problem, right, of only getting to play 4 copies of Persist. This card is very, very strong. You only get to play 4 of them. Which, in a big part of the reason, is why you see the most popular Reanimator deck in Modern being just Creativity, playing 4 Persist and 4 Creativities as kind of that redundant effect. So I actually started... So I may still end up doing this, but... Lately, I've been really thinking that you can just play Fury in Creativity. The card is, like, a really premium effect in that deck, letting you, like, stabilize really early, like, reasonable top deck once you get to 5 mana, and it's not that bad to hit when you hit it off Creativity, and you almost, like, I feel like you just never see anybody go for Creativity X=1. I just have not seen it in the longest time. And maybe that's just because I'm, like, playing more interactive decks. But even if you do hit it X=1, you spend 4 mana for a Fury. I don't know. I've just kind of been thinking that lately. I haven't play tested it yet. I'll do some play testing and we'll circle back. There's actually one chatter who said that someone does it at their local game store and everyone thinks it's busted. And so I actually started, like, I got a little lost in the sauce. And I started to build the deck as Jund Creativity with Grief and Fury. With Jund Creativity with the Scam cards. Just to kind of see what it would look like. And doing some building, it was a little full, like playing the Scam cards, Creativity, Persist, Archon, the Undying cards, and Wrenn and 6 was, and 23 lands. I think it was 61 or 62. Bitter Union 2. And I was like, in Fable, of course. And I was like, I don't have any removal spells besides Fury. This is kind of full. And so I just did a little bit more thinking. And I kind of, I was like, oh, it's a shame that Goryo's Vengeance exiles. It's a shame that Goryo's Vengeance exiles because you could just Feign Death your Atraxa. But you know what doesn't exile after you reanimate it is Footsteps of the Goryo. Footsteps of the Goryo sacrifices instead. So if you're able to Footsteps an Archon or a Fury or a Grief or a Spyro and use a Feign Death or Malakir Rebirth afterwards to reset it, that actually turns Footsteps from kind of a medium effect to a really good effect. You have 2 Archon triggers the turn it comes down. Just bringing back Fury by itself, even without a Scam card, is usually somewhat reasonable. Getting back Spyro is pretty reasonable, especially with an Undying effect. And so I playtested the deck last night. I easily trophied my first league. Oh, I guess it was kind of close at the very end. But I got it. Deck was feeling very smoothly trophied. It was a few cards different. I was only playing 3 Footsteps, but I really liked Footsteps. So I'm up to 4 over the 3rd Thoughtseize. And I have more Thoughtseizes in the sideboard now. But I trophied. The deck felt pretty sick. It's, kind of in a lot of ways similar to like the Esper Ephemerate Reanimator deck, but being a bit more in on the Scam plan, which Fury lets you do because like you can just play a 4/4 Devil Striker on turn 1 sometimes. And of course, like having like all of these reanimation spells lets you reanimate your creatures more often. So, pretty interesting list. I am always kind of skeptical of like doing well with Reanimator variants off stream, and so I do want to manage expectations. I played 1 league and I trophied, but the Creativity and Reanimator decks are really hard to evaluate because it is just the easiest archetype to run hot with and trophy with and not realize that your deck is suboptimal. Because when your deck draws well, when your deck is drawing hot, you just feel like you're a genius. You just feel like you broke it. But when you run into like a efficient hate, and I did play against a good amount of hate to be fair. But when you just play against a lot of hate, you're like, oh, what am I doing here? You'll be playing your Goryo's Vengeance list at FNM. Any tips? I'm not 100% sure on sideboard, excepting Rhinos, Creativity, Tribal decks, and Lord of Blood Moons. The most important thing to know is like what each sideboard card does against. Most of the sideboard I have is like dedicated against specific graveyard hate. So Teferi's anti-Leyline Endurance, Stony Silence is anti-Artifact-based graveyard hate. Prismatic Ending is anti-Rest in Peace, and can also get Sanctifier, hers. That's the most important thing to know. See the new spoilers? Yeah, I don't think I saw any of them today. Good old Esper Sentinel. Pretty good against my hand, but you can wait a turn here. Maybe we'll draw Archon next turn to get really, really lucky. Have I seen the new Ozlith? No, I have not. We have 4 Path of Peril on the sideboard for our anti-sanctifier card. We also have 4 Wear Tear, so a lot of sideboard cards potentially for this matchup. Knew you're high on the Mom Convoke cards yesterday. Have you seen the Convoke Dragon Hoarding? No, I haven't seen any cards from today, I think. No, I saw Croaky's spoiler. I saw the Flash battle. I didn't see anything else. So they got a hammer. I'm gonna play this super slow. I'm just gonna Thoughtseize them. Stick that Cigar Aid. Oh, Spell Pierce is such a pain though. But you just don't have that much power without the Cigar Aid. The Dragon was a couple days ago. Yeah, I guess this is always like Saga's a great top deck from them. It's always like kind of tough to learn the name of new cards. Get a new Ozlith. Oh, this set's easier because they're all like old names. Okay, they didn't leave up Spell Pierce. It's kind of funny. Let's pay. And then hope to draw well. Fury would be high on my list. Okay, not a lot so far. If one or more counters we put on an artifact creature control, put that many plus counters plus 1. Okay, so it's the hardened scale. It's hardened scales on an artifact. But it also triggers on artifacts and not just creatures. But only +1 counters, unlike the old Ozlith. Very interesting. Put a counter on a target artifact creature, activate only as a sorcery, and it cycles. So this is gonna be like the 5th hardened scales, 5th or 6th. That card seems like very much designed for modern hardened scales. Very interesting. Yeah, the cycling is kind of weird. The cycling does mean that I'm gonna concede. Cycling does mean that you can draw multiples a bit easier. Okay, losing game 1 in this deck is always awkward because people always have a lot of sideboard cards against you, but we have a lot of sideboard cards against them this time. I think I'm gonna go down on my footsteps also in this matchup, down to like 1 copy. We're bringing in so many sideboard cards. I think I get you the 4th Grief. Probably more important to hit my land drops to get up to Path of Peril, so I'll trim Feign Death over Malakir Rebirth. I think you can trim one of those usually. Get trim 3rd Grief. I'll probably trim 2nd Fable instead. Invasion of Kaldheim. ETB, exile all cards from your hand, then draw that many cards. Until the end of turn, you may play cards. Exile this way. Until the end of turn. What? It's so weird because it's like, you can play the cards that were in your hand, but like usually you would just play the cards in your hand instead of spending 4 mana first. Such a weird design. Let's mulligan this one. Okay, we have Fury. Need a discard outlet. Put it to the mull to 6. Until next turn? Oh, until the end of your next turn. Sorry, I thought it was just until the end of turn. Okay, the backside is discard a land card. Pyre deals 2 damage to any target. Whenever you discard a land card, exile top card, you may play the card. That card seems cool. Fun card for sure. Yeah, I know Fury no red card, but we're gonna keep on 6. Is Haggle not good enough for Reanimator? I like the turn 2 Archon factor. Dude, I love Archoning on turn 2, but Haggle is like so awful to draw. I tend to think that like you're okay just like, you know, being a little bit slower, especially with the scam elements, to have your card quality be higher. Okay, love to draw a red card. We have some time. I can just get a tap Blood Crypt here. What do you think about red black deck splashing white for ending sideboard cards? Main deck ending is super flex and takes care of pro red, pro black without using sideboard slots. It's an option. We've done it plenty of times, and I don't think I want a main deck ending in this deck specifically, but I do think that you like actually. I could maybe have just started to go to discard 6. I don't know. Yeah, we've done it plenty of times too. Just not in this specific show. There she is. Okay, we have 4 Path of Peril in our deck, which is now the only good top deck besides filtering spells. That's a filtering spell at least. They get a card, but we gotta get something going. Could maybe hardcast Fury next turn after attacking. Invasion of Mercadia. I haven't seen this one. ETB, discard if you do draw 2 cards, so it's Bitter Reunion. Flip for discard a card, make 2 elementals. Creatures get +1/+0/+ haste. Interesting to have access to 8 Bitter Reunions, I guess. Come on, Path of Peril. I have 4 of them in the deck. I think I'm gonna discard Fury Swamp and just try to draw Path of Peril, and then if I am lucky enough to draw Path of Peril, then I will have Bitter Reunion, Persist, Archon. Maybe we could play this tapped instead of the land here. Yeah, the new scales is very, very good, I think. Could you not persist Archon this turn after treasure? I could not, no. There's a Sanctifier in back in play. That's an Invasion of Tykar, maybe Scion and Tribal Flames. I don't know if I saw that one. I think I'm triple blocking. Means I can't like copy Spyro with the flip Fable, but I don't think it's it doesn't really come down to that. And I need to draw Path of Peril anyways, which kills these creatures. Come on, big money. I have 4 Path of Perils in my stupid deck. Buys me some time. Rebirth to Spyro, yeah, there's a Sanctifier effect. I think I'm actually just like not gonna give them the card. Hit Blacksmith skill, damn it. Yeah, Sanctifier is really busted. Yeah, Spell Pierce also gets hit. That's something we can... When you're so behind like this, you just can't... You just have to stop playing around cards. Okay, so... We drew it. Okay, perfect timing, actually. And before Spell Pierce and before Blacksmith skill. One of the 2 cards is Cauldra, or one of the 3 cards is Cauldra. Let's go! Okay. So, if they don't get Graveyard Hate here, we can, like, haste an Archon even. Copy Archon. And haste it if we draw a land. We can copy with Reflection. So if we go Reunion... Yeah, we can copy with Reflection. We can also give haste if we draw a land. You got Springleaf Drum. A land would also be really nice to pay for a Spell Pierce on Persist. Oh, Blackcleave Cliffs. Ooh. Opponent's making me sweat. I cannot believe we won this game. We drew the Path of Peril, though. I have 4 of them. Oh, yeah, I feel like Sanctifier should remove words. Oh, I forgot to play my Swamp Haste. That's okay. Wait. Actually, maybe even blocking Ink Moth is better. I guess I have no cards, so it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, really. Kind of feel like on the draw, I'm going to cut the last Footsteps and just bring in the 4th Grief. Kind of like being able to get Sanctifier on the draw. I guess also does that on the play. Maybe should always have the full 4. I like this hand though. Although one thing I don't like about this hand is I really want to get Sacred Foundry with this land, but I can't if I scam Grief turn 1. It's a little bit awkward. I've had turn 1 Esper Sentinel game 1 and 2. Not this game though. Okay, I like that draw. Yeah, just gonna get the Blood Crypt then. You need to draw land. It's okay. I need to draw red source anyways with this hand. Definitely taking Stoneforge, and then I don't know what the other card I'm taking is. I feel it's actually the skill, because my next play is probably going to be Spyro, which doesn't trigger this, and then I don't want them to have this to protect from Path of Peril. Okay, well, happy with my call. Is Sacred Foundry better than Godless Shrine? Yeah, because you have all of these. I think usually it is. I guess this situation did come up, huh? But like typically because you have all these Malakir Mires, I think that you do want to build a deck like this. Yeah, we're just gonna. Could be wrong. Right, if they drew another skill or Spell Pierce, this is really bad, but hopefully not. Let's go. How would I rate this deck compared to traditional red-black scam? It's hard to say. This is my 6th match with the deck. I trophied with it last night. I am undefeated with it. Compared to red-black scam, this deck doesn't lose any matches, and red-black scam has lost matches before. My current evaluation. Love this hand. Okay, so we're up against Creativity. I beat Creativity last night. They have no fetch lands. I feel like I'm just going to take Explorer, Lightning Bolts. One of the streaks of scam is Blood Moon. Do you feel like there's something missing in the deck? I consider playing Blood Moon. Blood Moon is a good card. Stop the presses. Blood Moon, good card. I am choosing to not play Blood Moon in this deck because I think that it is just too important to have your sideboard cards dedicated to be graveyard cards. We have Path of Peril for Anti-Sanctifier. We have Stony Silence for like Murktide and any deck playing only artifact-based graveyard hate. We have Wear Tears for Leyline Rest in Peace mostly, but the fact that they also they have the other side too is pretty relevant. And then you could play, I guess, Blood Moons over Terminates. I feel like Terminate to kill Murktide is like a pretty important dynamic. Could definitely make it a conversation. I guess I'm going to tech them since the Archon will kill the Red and 6 next turn. Hoping to draw land so we can Malakir Rebirth our Archon after we Footsteps it. Starting for Murktide. All of their graveyard hate is artifact based in Murktide. It's always relics and hearses. And so just for 2 mana saying you have no graveyard hate this match. That is a really important and powerful effect. Perfect. And this is, of course, like I think this is the missing piece here. The fact that the scam cards save your Archon from a Footsteps dying and even give you an extra trigger is. I guess they were dead if I hasted, but they're also like sorry. I should have hasted, just killed them. Hashtag mislethal. But also they can't win. And I get to show off what the deck does. This in my mind is very much the missing piece. Where like the biggest problem with most random variants is you only have 4 Persist. So you either solve this by playing Creativity, or you solve it by playing Aether Mage's Touch, or Goryo's Vengeance plus Footsteps, and now the scam cards let you play Footsteps. Yeah, so this is actually the main matchup that I wanted the extra Thoughtseizes for, and so I wanted to go -1 Fury at least, maybe -2 Furies. think it's on the draw. One Fury, one Fable. Oh, but I also need Wear Tears for their ley lines. I think 3. I'm trying to remember how I sideboarded last night. Maybe something like this. Which decks am I not going to bring in Stony Silence for? Good question. Better question. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Compare this to the Esper Reanimator deck, like you're like just way more into like win games with the scam cards than like with Solitude. When you have Fury is just so much more proactive. What do you think about Pile On for Modern? If that is a new card, which I would guess that it is, I don't know almost any of the new card names. So I've maybe seen it, but I just don't know the names yet. Okay, happy to not get counterspelled here. What shall you see the new Convoke cards for new Modern? What are good neighbors? I'm trying to figure it out. Like the white Knight, that card is like kind of just good. Go play around Spell Pierce. That card is just kind of good. I don't think that you're really going to have to do too much to make that one work. Ugh. Well, fair enough. Let's not Malakir Rebirth. Let's just Seasoned Pyromancer here. Just get 3 for 1. Who cares? Yeah, so it's like, in theory, you have like Third Path Iconoclast, you have Kadotha Rebirth, you have the new Kadotha Rebirth I always forget the name of when we're talking about this. You have options. You got options. Okay, so we have Footsteps. We don't have a scam effect yet. We can at least haste the Archon if we don't draw anything, assuming that this resolves, I suppose. Lethal Demolition, yeah. But those seem like they're potentially good token enablers. It'll be... Oh, man, Turn the Earth. This card's too good. It'll be interesting to explore the Convoke cards, because they're powerful, but they definitely require you to, like, play games in a way that are probably not, like, super good in Modern. The more I think about the Knight, the more I think it's a Humans card or Heliod card. But at the same time, putting their hand is a lot worse than Coco. Yeah, this card is a Convoke spell. It's a lot. It's not. Oh man, I don't know. Like comparing it to Coco is kind of funny to me. Where like the whole idea is like this is like 2 or 3 mana like double card advantage spell. In my mind. But I think that I think in Heliod and Humans and also like the mono white Stoneblade decks that we've been working on. I think are all like pretty potential shells for this package. Yeah, maybe an Affinity for sure. Maybe for sure. But you're gonna want to keep your curve low. You're gonna want to keep your curve low with this Convoke card. Like you're gonna want to have like a lot of good 2-drops. That's what I think it'll go really good in Humans, because if you only like spend like 3 creatures to convoke it, you can get like, Thalia's Lieutenants and like really powerful 2-drops instead of like the 3-drops. Sex doesn't work with Vile. I don't know. That card is great. I think it's okay. How's the matchup against Bergtide? Not very good, usually, when you're playing Reanimator decks. So they can flashback their turn to Earth, but getting that out of the way is nice, I think. They have no spells. Well, that's a start for us, for sure. Getting close to hardcast Archon territory, although my opponent is in that range already, which is kind of bad for me. They're going to ultimate Rin and 6 at some point. Where the Wear Tears for, I think the Teamer Black version has no blindings. I don't know, like, this is something that happens every single time we play against a variant of a deck. Chat will say very confidently, oh, the Teamer version doesn't play Leylines. I've seen Leyline of the Void very often in Teamer creativity. It's always people always say like, oh, they're Teamer, they can't have Leylines. I really don't think that that's true. I really think that Teamer like very often has 4 Leylines in their sideboard. Or I guess are you talking about Leyline of Binding? I'm talking about Leyline of the Void. That's maybe the confusion. I guess I play this because I could draw Archon, draw another land, and haste it. I see. That's a little confusion there, huh? Alright, Archon of Cruelty off the top into Untapped Land. Although we saw Turn the Earth, so I think we are going to cut the Wear Tears for game 3 for what it's worth. And I am going to concede, I think, to the Rimblum. I guess maybe make the Rimblum. We're drawing another brick. Turn the Earth is like so like annoyingly great against like specifically Reanimator too. Yeah, those Wear Tears were Fables. This is what it is though. I think you like pretty forced to bring in the Wear Tears for ley lines. You're just like completely cold to them otherwise. Bring in Fury, make by turn 1, smash win by turn 3. She seems pretty good on the play. Yeah, because them being on Teamer means they don't have like much removal besides bolts. Cam 13 months, thank you. Keep in 1 Wear Tear to kill their Fables at worst. I don't care about killing Fable. I do like not interested. I think that's likely the only target. If we still Turn the Earth. Alright, Wild Chatter. Your time has come. We'll see if your plan works. Having the turn 2 Thoughtseize is also like really clutch here. Any cards I'm looking at a new set? I'm looking at all of them. They're being spoiled right now. I'm looking at them. If we get Veiled, they go down to 9. Ooh. Okay, so I take the Bolt. So they can't go Rin and 6 this turn, Rin plus Bolt next turn. Wow, we would have been so toast without this Thoughtseize. Although we may get Thoughtseize bugged, I don't know. Good to put our opponent down to 1 life. Although I have no bird in the deck besides just Archon. We could draw like Fable, Spyro, Thoughtseize, Bloodstained Mire, good draw. Although it does turn on Grief. So they can't play Fable as a chump blocker if they don't have like a basic land. Can you replace Goryo's Footsteps for Profane Tutor? I would not recommend it. I think that like in a lot of ways like the scam elements make Footsteps a really good card on this deck. And Profane Tutor has its problems. But if you're going to place it with any card, I guess you beat that one. Let's go! 7-0 with this deck, by the way. 7-0. Obviously getting very lucky. Jace, yeah, if you post a link in chat, I'd be happy to take a look. Is this deck the real deal? I don't know. So this is something I always say. When you're trying to evaluate a Reanimator variant, it is just like... It just takes for fucking ever. It just takes a million years to evaluate these decks. I think I have to keep this on 6. Yeah, again, it just takes so long to evaluate these decks because you are just capable of drawing really well and winning every single game. It's just so easy to just draw super hot and win every game. And on the other side, it's very easy to... Okay, let's just be a scam plan. So I'm going to pitch the Archon. And I probably would rather Malakir, Rebirth, the Grief, and then Feign Death, the Fury. It's just so easy to draw super well and keep winning. I'm not saying that is what's happening here, but I am saying that it is like just a bit too early to to say. I guess I take the Blood Moon, because I want them to play red and 6 so I can like get value off the Fury. Although I'm not really very scared of this Blood Moon. Yeah, the Blood Moon like actually does nothing, so let's just stick the Ren. Hey, Bob, the Mary deck, could I play again? I will play it again. Likely we'll play something else today. It might be that. I haven't decided yet, honestly. But I'm not sure. It's a deck I obviously like. We played it one stream. We trophied with it. I believe I can't remember what the exact record was, but I believe it was a good record overall. I will play it again. I promise. I just don't know when. And again, like especially like when you compare this version to the Esper, like Solitude, Ephemerate, Moldrifter, Aether Mage's touch deck. This version of the plan is just so proactive. Just so proactive. Like, we would have lost being on that plan against this draw, probably. Maybe if we had the Ephemerate, but like you also get the Scam Grief on turn 1 so much more often. Gidges? Cruel Hellraiser. Wow, that is a deck name, huh? Where are they? There they are. So I mostly have the opinion that like, so with Hellraiser, there's like a lot of cards that are like powerful big hits that are like incidentally like better in the early game. So you can play like a Shark Typhoon, Seagate Restoration as these are like they cycle or they're just lands, and if you can flash them back with Hellraiser, then that's like a really powerful effect. But it doesn't require you to play Cruel Ultimatum in Modern, which is like, you know, questionable. Okay, so my opponent's removal graveyard is going to be like Clothis, maybe some relics, and Endurance, which is going to be kind of a tough dynamic. I don't need to bring in Wear Tear for Blood Moons, thankfully. This is another version of the strength. Another big strength of this version is like you're just like don't care about Blood Moon very much. When compared to other versions, Blood Moon is a big problem. I feel like Endurance Clothis most likely graveyard hates. I think I'm just not gonna side for relics and stuff. So we'll bring in the full playset of Thoughtseizes. Get back to the deck tech in a second. I think on the draw, I'm down to trim like just 2 footsteps. Cut the Thoughtseizes. No, you want more Thoughtseizes against Endurance. It's also our only answer to Clothis. Not that Clothis can't be played around. Okay, very interesting draw. Really hope to draw a black card. I have the nuts if we do. Okay, so that's kind of my first thought here. That being said, I think that the pursuit of casting Cruel Ultimatum off Hellraiser is a noble pursuit. But boy, is it high on the curve. Boy, is it high on the curve. I feel like I really want Ledger Shredders in this deck to like loot the Cruel Ultimatums away. Maybe Ledger Shredder over Fable. I've actually kind of found that Fable's like not that good of a hit off of... okay, we drew another Bitter Reunion. What's on a Mold of 5? I don't think that I need to Grief here. Obviously, I want to be able to Bitter Reunion plus Archon. But assuming that they're on Clothis Endurance, I can like wait a turn and maybe draw a black card. Spyro should probably be in there somewhere. Well, the problem with Spyro, of course, is it's like I think Fable's better with Hellraiser because it copies Hellraiser, and okay, they do have Hearst in the deck. That feels kind of bad. So I can't scam the Grief. So I think what I have to do... Let's discard this. What I have to do is I think I can set up for a turn where if I have 5 mana, I can go Bitter Reunion, I can go Grief, Feign Death, and they respond with Hearst, and then I go Bitter Reunion, Archon. It's maybe not as good as just like dumping these cards and planning to hardcast Archon in several turns. But I have the mana to do it, so let's go for it. It's kind of a fun line too. Although I could maybe prioritize getting my second swamp here. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna play Ledger Shredder over Fable. It'll help with your mana curve problem some. I also think I would like to play Unholy Heat over Murderous Cut. Oh, you have no other 1-mana removal spells. That's a huge problem, not to have any 1-mana removal spells. Yeah, you need to probably be playing like at least 5. So the cuts are kind of easy for that purpose. Okay, you can beat Clothis. But beyond that, it is like pretty tough. Okay, I guess I need to draw a black card. Hold on. So I guess I should have Bitter Reunion discarding a land. You got a lot of black cards in the deck, though. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm obviously like really stuck on Hellraiser decks too. I'd probably play Consider over Thought Scour. You need to play like 6 1-mana removal spells. So you can maybe cut the Thoughtseizes and the cuts and just play like 4 Bolt, a bunch of Heats. What in the world is this? This is not the first time I've seen this card, actually. Okay, I should have played my Bitter Reunion last turn looking for a black card, but hopefully we'll just draw one here. Fail to do so. Oh, right, I needed this Bitter Reunion to discard the whole thing. Well, I guess like, we're just kind of screwed. I guess we're just kind of screwed. Could maybe somehow get up to hardcast Archon range at this point. Yeah, I think that's what I'm put there. Good luck to you. It's a noble pursuit to Hellraiser a Cruel Ultimatum, but I don't know if you've seen the Shark Typhoon control list. I think that like that's likely a more competitive angle. Yeah, this like diversity of graveyard hate is really tough. Like they have endurance. I don't know what they're main phasing. Oh, that's why. They have endurance. They have Hearse. They have Clothis. And like, obviously, like the discard plan is fine against all of them. If I had gone for Scam on turn 1, I mean, I don't know. It's so tough when like I have to pitch Persist or Archon. I think if I draw Fury, who could? Well, maybe not. Last card, Spyro. I thought it was yielded till instep. Okay, let's get a little more info. They didn't play their land, I think. Okay, so I really hate that Wear Tear doesn't kill Clothis. That feels so bad. I kind of feel like we do just have to be in on like Thoughtseize and Grief. Their graveyard hate, it's so diverse. Like, I don't think they can afford to bring in Stony Silence or Wear Tear just for Hearse. We just have to, like, get it out of the hand. And, like, who knows how... They might have, like, exactly 1 Hearse. Like, I know that if I had, like, 4 Endurance and, like 1 or 2 Clothis, I would probably play 0 Hearses. So, like, it's hard to imagine they're on more than 1 or, like, max 2. Yeah, I did see that they completed Shark Typhoon somehow. We haven't seen Scavenging Ooze. We at least have Fury for that one. Get a Thoughtseize yourself after baiting the Grief pitch there. Yeah, I guess I just missed that, actually. Okay, let's keep this, and I'm gonna prioritize the Grief here. And I guess I'm pitching Persist, so I can discard the Archon to Seasoned Pyromancer in a couple turns. Well, gotta draw lands, I suppose. Yeah, no, let me actually pitch Archon, and then I can maybe just Persist Grief if I draw a land, just be it on the scam plan. I do think I have to keep this, with this like being the main part of my plan. Yeah, their hand's really good. Let's just take Sprawl, red and 6. You should play Stony Silence for Hearse. Oh, I just talked all about that. I just did like a whole minute on like why I did bring in Stony Silence for Game 3. It feels pretty close here. Whether or not just play 2/2 double strike. I think that I'm not going to, but did think about it. Like, Stony's really nice against Murktide, where all their graveyard hate is artifacts. You also get splash damage against Bauble, Ragavan. In this deck, they have, again, like 1 or 2 Hearses, and they also have Endurance, and they also have Klothys, so it's just like... There's a lot going on. So I think just being in on all discard plans, trying to discard their graveyard hate is fine. So that was their draw for the turn. So they probably discard both lands. Yeah, so I should wait on the Fury until next turn when they play their next Spyro. Probably. Then I can potentially have a Seasoned Pyromancer to follow up if I can draw another land. Don't yield? Yeah, I'm not yielded. Although I am often, huh? So they're on Endurance, which can't block this. Happy enough just to let them Endurance, or... Okay. Well, we'll let this go. Drawing the Archon is really interesting, because now we can just like draw a land and get the Archon in the yard, obviously. They're into Spyro, 2 mystery cards. They can maybe dig for some more graveyard hate. They do have Endurance, though. I'm not going to play my land. I think if they have Endurance and they see me miss my land drop, they're more likely to just like go and beat down play. I'm at 10 life. Oh, they was Bolt instead of Endurance. Okay, well, my read was wrong. I don't know why they wouldn't go Bolt plus Spyro there, though. I feel like I'm happy enough with that. Obviously, like, playing scared a little bit. We did see... Like, I don't know. Like, it didn't make a lot of sense for that last card to be Bolt. They're still not playing the Spyro, but... If they did just draw Endurance, I'm going to be so annoyed, but I'm going to cast the Seasoned Pyromancer. Officially so annoyed. What the hell? Ah! Could have Thoughtseize myself there. I would rather play Seasoned Pyromancer, I think. I don't know. Maybe not. End up working out, right? Is opponent ever gonna cast that Seasoned Pyromancer? They're just not. So I can go Persist, Spyro, maybe. I think I should just cast this Grief. Getting that Seasoned Pyromancer out of the hand seems great. I think they're just going to flashback tokens here. And I guess I kind of have to Endurance, or Fury the Endurance to not go to Bolt range. Okay. Beatable. Yeah, I don't want to get into Bolt range. Although they have used 2 bolts already, so it's maybe fine. But next turn I get to go like Persist, Spyro, discard Thoughtseize, make more tokens, draw more cards. So they drew Rin and 6. Right, their hand is... They must have drawn Rin and 6, right? Or maybe they're just trying to get me into Bolt range. That's possible. They did draw Ren and 6. It's fine, I guess. Might just Persist the Fury. Could Footsteps the Fury. I think I'll just Persist the Spyro. Tough game. Opponent has like also drawn like a. They have relic also. This is so obnoxious. I can't like opponent. You have Endurance, Clothis, Hearse, Relic. Why? Why? What happened to you? You just need a hard castle. They have an Orvar as in their hand. Like, you only play against these decks when you're playing Reanimator too, I feel. And maybe you're just gonna win anyways. Their hand is Orvar Mystery card. They got rid of their Seasoned Pyromancer. What a top deck. They used 2 bolts already. Come on! My opponent has drawn like 7 spells in a row also, or something like that. And I also discarded their Spyro, so it's not like they even drew there. God, that was one of the most obnoxious games I've ever played. Yeah, keep it. So they can have that portable hole. They can have that prismatic ending. It is cool that Persist, like, you know, can buy back your Furies too. I'm tuning in, so this may have been mentioned. I really like Bitter Reunion in my Black Reanimator deck. I always think it's so funny when people tune in and suggest a card that is in the deck. They don't look at the list. I'm assuming you did look at the list. We have 4 Bitter Yes, we have 4 Bitter Reunions. I like it too. I just think it's so funny. It's funny. It just happens all the time. It just happens all the time. That's what a Spike stream is. Portable hole. I guess portable could kill like a token. I mean, yeah, grief is a good suggestion. Yesterday, this one's a little bit easier because it's just a one of, but yesterday someone's like, I'm surprised no one of Dress Down in the control deck. I did have a one of Dress Down. I did have the one of Dress Down. It just happens all the time. It's so funny. Yeah, the Tutor's clip is more real every day. So I control. I don't think it was because there was also like another point too. I don't know. Have I cracked Assaulted Tyvar? No, there's like just like not enough good instants and sorceries, I think. I'm probably supposed to Persist Fury, right? Good old 2 lethal attackers. Could be worse against like Urza top deck. I think we still beat Urza top deck, right? How did I land on the Fable Pyromancer split? In this deck, I think it's pretty easy. Seasoned Pyromancer is much better than Fury in a deck that can like Footsteps it and Undie it and Persist it. Much, much better. And then I wanted like 2 more looters, and so Fable is the next best after Bitter Reunion and Seasoned Pyromancer. Did consider playing Brutality over Thoughtseize though to have more 2-mana discards, but you could also Thoughtseize yourself. Where do you find my Sideboard guides now? I'm taking a little bit of a break from Sideboard guides. I will return at some point to Sideboard guides. Maybe for free, maybe on Patreon, maybe like I think what I've been thinking is like maybe like free Patreon, but like you can also support me there too. But I'm just taking a little break for now. It's also like one tough thing too is like I like literally like have been playing like a new deck every day, and like writing a Sideboard guide every single day is very, very difficult beyond just like just very bare bones in and out. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, so we're up against Affinity. So we're gonna bring in Stony Silence. This is not the highest level play. Let's go ahead and get. I think the Thoughtseize is out. I like Footsteps to like game 1. I think you can often trim on them in sideboard games, since sideboard games are a bit slower. So obviously developing the sideboard. Like a lot of stuff too. Like I'll play a deck one time, and even if I like it, like I've only played the deck for like 10 matches. I don't have a perfect sideboard plan yet either. Can go to like 1 Footsteps. Trim a Fury, trim a Undying Effect. I really like Malakir Rebirth helping you hit your land drops in all these 3 drops. With all these 3 drops, I like the Malakir Rebirth a lot in this list. Although maybe my colors are so awkward. The wear tears, I can trim a Rebirth instead on the draw too. Classic 9 sources for 4 1-drops and 3 2-drops. 9 sources for 4 1-drops and 3 2-drops. What are we talking about? I have 24 lands and I have 10 1-drops. Where are the moons? I don't think you can afford to play them in Reanimator. You need your sideboard cards to be like. You need your sideboard cards to be like good against graveyard hate. So you can play this tapped and then Grief and Pay on turn 2. They might have Sanctifier. Yeah, Sanctifier would be tough, but I would think that'd be an artifact based graveyard hate. Although that that could be a reason to jam here. Grief might be too slow in the draw. They're talking about the white sources. 9 sources for 4 1-drops and 3 2-drops. Yeah. I don't think it's that bad, honestly. Persist is so weird here. You know what? I'm just gonna go Bitter Reunion, discard Archon, and then Grief them. I want to do this first so I see their whole hand. Maybe Fury them too. Okay, I love that they have no interaction. Just take the second Stoneforge. Like, so you have 9 sources, right? For these hate cards. You also have 2 Fables to make treasure tokens, which is small but not nothing. You don't always need to wear Terror turn 1. You don't need to Stony Silence turn 2 either. It's like these are reactive cards against graveyard hate, and so reactive cards, you like evaluating them as 1 and 2 drops is a little bit off. Plus, you have like a lot of filtering in the deck with the reunions and Seasoned Pyromancers to find one of your 9 white sources. I think it's totally fine. But if you're scared, you can play more fetch lands over the cliffs. Did I try Nihiri? I played Nihiri in like a different version. I think I don't prefer it over Fable Spyro. We've took the 2 gifted subs. Posting in chat, I'd be happy to take a look. My opponent draw Orvar. I should have played Spyro pre-combat because of Orvar. It's like the only card that does anything. Oh well, that does something. It's also not a spike stream if I don't have to spend the whole morning defending the deck. I think I'm okay just getting it. I know I'm not getting my white source, but I feel alright about this. So many good draws. Sideboard and mana base, I think need the most help. I think the mana base is fine. I think the sideboard's fine. I don't know. My main point is like I don't know. Like, the critiques are also, like, more interesting if you're, like, suggesting what changes to make, obviously. But, yeah, you can play more fetch lands over the cliffs if you want to. And make every game 1 worse and make game 2s marginally better. It's, like... It's not the most interesting conversation. I guess my life total's high enough to attack with the Spyro. Yeah, Nihiri does not seem very good in this deck. Like, you can't recur Fury or Solitude the turn you play Nihiri, even on 4 mana. I don't really understand why she's here. Your blue card count for Fortification is low. I think you like definitely need to play that 4th Fire Ice to like, get up to at least 12, which is very on the low end. Dude, my opponent wins this game. That'd be sick. Attacking here makes no sense. Why does this make no sense? I attack, I get in for 3. If they clap back for 3, I'm hitting them for 5. I'm at 28, so I'm not, like, doing so bad in the race. And if they block, I get to make Seasoned Pyromancer tokens. And if they block, they have no board, I get Seasoned Pyromancer tokens. If they don't block, I'm, you know, advancing in the race at least. They have lifelink? I know they have lifelink. I factored in the lifelink guy. But they're lifelinking for 3, I'm attacking them for 5. You're trading 3 for a 6 swing? Trading 3 for a 6 swing is fine when I'm at 23 and they're at 8. It's fine when I'm at 23 and they're at 8. No, their last card is not Metallic Rebuke. Any merit holding our card to Hardcast? There was definitely some merit, yeah. Okay, so Nihiri doesn't make any sense. You need the 4th Fire Ice really badly. Also, like, I don't feel like you're making really good use of Restore Balance here without the border post. I'm sure you've seen the border post tech where you pick it up, you have an artifact to play that also makes sure... what are they targeting here? That makes your blue card count higher. I guess you just want artifact in play. Yeah, I'd easily double block there. Our hand is pretty good, but my opponent's definitely just, you know... had it. Still have an Archon in the yard, all our reanimations live... I guess we're only down to like 1 footstep, so footsteps we can at least taste the Archon. Oh, they equipped the Nettle Cyst to Urza. I guess I can still wear tear this if I draw a land. I don't know how to react to Stony Silence here. So I can kill. No, I can't kill Urza this turn. Yeah, so I think I just go Stony Silence, wear tear Nettle Cyst. And should I wear tear Nettle Cyst now? So they have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so if I wear tear Nettle Cyst now, I'm potentially depriving them of double Urza spin. This is worse if they find Saga, I guess, but I still can't like double white spell anyways. Yeah, I feel like the border posts are really important to like make your restore balances much more one-sided, where you're like not destroying your own lands, and upping your blue card count for 4s. Battle is such an awkward design. Hope they fall off. I like battles. A little bit early. It's hard to really evaluate without playing with them. But a lot of new cards always look clunky because you have to understand how the mechanic works too. We'll see. Gotta play with them. You know, so those are some like rough thoughts, but you know, like you want to be playing Prismatic Vista, so you can fetch any color basic, just play a mana base of like almost all basic lands, to pick up with your border post. Something like 12 border, probably like 12 border post, 12 lands. Cutting the Hiri, cutting potentially Fable as well to make room. Definitely Nihiri though. You actually don't need that many Fire Ices if you have any Nihiris though, since you are at that point. Actually, probably should be attacking with the Fury. Could have attacked pre-combat. Although I doubt they ever chump with Esper Sentinel. Yeah, probably should have swung with Fury last turn too. But also, like, the backseating today has been so much already. So I think those are my thoughts. I've never really played Restore Balance either, so I don't have like a ton of super strong opinions, maybe. Those are my opinions. Common edge to player battle, surveil 1, return land card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. It's a Merfolk. Oh, they went to Fairy into Portable Hole for Stony Silence, into Thopter Foundry. This is like the third time this game my opponent's drawn like runner, like super relevant spells. It's a cool card. It doesn't seem like it's likely like super good though. Four, 5, 6, 7. They already have to. Oh, they bounced the hole. I see. Sorry, looking at spoiler. I thought they drew better than they did, huh? Two mana, 2/2 says rampant growth and damage is probably not good enough. I mean, for modern. I could see the card being good enough for Merfolk. I could definitely see it being good enough for Merfolk. So we draw a land, we can Archon pre-combat. We still can't give it haste, though. Is my life total in jeopardy? Not really. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8. But does this actually help me? Because I can't haste the Archon anyways, so I could just play it post-combat. I think no. That helps me. Haste token, copy Fury. I'd really just cast Archon. Oh, but we can also. But you're saying we can? Yeah, we don't have enough mana to cast Archon, give haste, and copy, even if we keep the land. That's 2 extra mana than we have. We get to copy Archon next turn. We can copy it twice. If the Wayfinder isn't ramping every turn, it's definitely playable. Just mediocre, or go 10 fetches minimum. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think it's hard to play 10 fetches in Merfolk. When wondering how come NordVPN sponsors every creator on the internet, they got it like that, I guess. We can beat this. Mostly because we have the Stony and 3 Archons. I think you could, since you have 1 extra treasure, so the 1 mana you lost by copying after attack. How do I have an extra treasure? If I keep the land, right? We're talking about keeping the land. How do I have the extra treasure? Okay, I think we jump here. Haste, copy, Stony. This is 5 Archon triggers this turn. We also didn't. That's overkill. No, that's another Archon trigger. Red ticket Stony back from hole. Yeah, also just just cast Stony. deck tech for pocket beers. So happy to take a look. Post the link in chat. Are they dead? I think they go. No, they are dead. They are dead. Guess that's kind of hard to survive. Cool that they almost survived. I thought that they would live a turn. Okay, we're 3-1 with opponents drawing pretty well. Could not beat Gruul, Graveyard, Hate Tribal. We can get a 4-1 prediction going. And while also making your deck much better, I think. I think the version with counter spells are fine. You know, we did pretty well with them when we were playing them. Other people have been doing well with them. Like, those versions are fine. But in these artifact versions, you just have to play the grinding station. Yeah, I think 3 grinding stations is better than 4. I would play 3 over 4. You also need 4 Emrys too. Like, when you're playing Emry in a deck, like in a breach deck, it's like you've jumped through a lot of hoops to make Emry like a good playable card, which you definitely have here. Just play 4. Yeah, so yeah, minus one Spellbomb, plus 1 Emry. You can also cut these Shrapnel Blasts. I would much rather play like Bolt and Galvanic Blast, like probably 4 Bolt, 3 Galvanic Blast, because like Ragavan is much worse when you don't have like at least 6 1-mana red removal spells. That's kind of been the formula I've liked. It's like 6 1-mana removal spells to get Ragavan through. You have Pirate Spellbomb, which kind of counts, but Shrapnel Blast is just not very good. Oh, they top deck Bolt. It's kind of awkward. Let's just plan on casting that Spyro. Okay, so I gotta manage this real quick. Yeah, so I mean, to some extent, it's just like, just play the normal Breach deck. You can be blue-red, you can play Third Path Iconoclast. I don't hate Third Path Iconoclast. I really like Channeler, actually. I know that, like, Jesse doesn't typically play many Channelers, but I'm a big Channeler head still. They grabbed another Teferi, which you can pressure with the Spyro here. If you want to play 7 of these, I want to play 4 Bolt, 3 Galvanic Blast. You're not going to have Metalcraft on Blast that often. You could do 4-3 if you disagree. That's still fine. I actually would not play this Paradise Mantle. I would not play any number of Paradise Mantle over any number of Springleaf Drum, even with Grinding Station in the deck. I don't love the synthesizers with the combo, so I want to cut the synthesizers for 3 grinding stations and a breach. And then likely the mantle for the 4th Emry. If you're going to splash the white cards in the sideboard, you need to play 4 fetch lands over the Spireglyph Canals, I think. Or like at least 2, because you have the Springleaf Drums. It's kind of hard to evaluate, but you have a lot of white sideboard cards, so you need more than just 5 white sources. I got criticized for having 9 white sources in this list. Oh yeah, they did bounce Oath. That's probably a punt, huh? There's a chance I think it's a better chance that they attack and I get to block than I attack and they block. Probably not room for iteration. You could play iteration. I don't think iteration is like incredibly mandatory. I've actually like, I don't know. Iteration's good in the deck. It's expressive iteration, but I tend to like not like iteration very much in Saga decks where like Saga is like such a mana taxing card and like such a mana sink card. And you also like have Breach as a card advantage spell. But yeah, it'd be fun to play. But like, yeah, I don't know. Iteration's busted. It's like, iteration is also like worse in Breach, I think, than it is in like Murktide or Shadow. But it's you know, it's still iteration. Dude, Bowen's like so deep in the tank. I guess they said they're lagging. Tend to give a reasonable explanation. Yeah, I like to see his argument. I agree though. I agree that iteration is like just not a mandatory card in Breach. It is playable, of course. Of course. There's another deck decker named lot today. Pet deck. Do you have Reduce Rebel? I love Reduce Rebel. I love this card so much. Like, the first Pro Tour I ever played, Marvel was one of the best decks in the format, and I had this really cool Fervent Visions, Baral, Nimble Mongoose, Madness, like, tempo deck that was, like, really good against Marvel. And then Zombies started to become really popular. You could never beat Zombies, and so I just played Marvel instead. But I had a great Marvel matchup. This card is also completely unplayable in Modern. But I do love that card. I like really like that one. So I see that you're blending the Boros and Jeskai Lotus Field decks together. You're playing a lot of cards I would never play with this build. I would never play Ashiok the Dreamrender in the main deck. I also don't like Teferi Time Raveler very much in this archetype. I think that the multicolor cost on turn 3 in the Lotus Field deck is very awkward. But I would play it over Ashiok, I guess, if I had to choose. I think that it's very awkward to play 3 copies of Emeria Call in your deck that's playing Cryptic Command. Obviously, you have Lotus Field. Lotus Field does not solve all of your mana problems. Like, playing less ETB creatures also in a deck that's, like, I think pretty interested in being in on the Ephemerate, Fury, and Solitude plan is a bit awkward. Like Golos is honestly like about as good as Teferi, Hero of Dominaria in my experience. That may be kind of wild to say, but I've been so impressed by Golos in this archetype, and I recommend the Boros. It's always so tough to do decks like this too, where like I recommend the Obosh Boros Lotus Field deck that I've been playing. I feel like that is like the best version of the deck we've had. Let me pull that up. There's some sideboard decisions still to be made. Like, do you want to lose Obosh against Creativity? The answer is probably yes. I want to play the 4th Emeria's Call over the 4th Golos here. But you know, this is the deck I'd recommend to you. Okay, great to be able to Thoughtseize that Endurance. So it's just, you know, like, if I was gonna play Lotus Field, like, this is what I would play. If you're gonna play Jeskai, I do think that it's better to stick to like more blue spells to be able to go to Teferi, untap Lotus Field, have Cryptic Command, have Memory Deluge. Like, that's like more important. Like, Memory Deluge is a better card advantage spell than Teferi in this archetype. It's better than Ashiok. If you have 4 Prismatic Endings, I don't think you need these marches with 4 Fury, 4 Solitude, and the Ephemerates. I'd like to be more on Ephemerate. I love Reduced to Rebel. It's not playable. The Thought Distortion in the sideboard is sick. I like that. Sideboard looks pretty reasonable. Although, you can play Kahira. Play Kahira. Oh, there's Kahira. Okay. Or there's 14 sideboard cards, but no Kahira. So presumably, it should be a Kahira there. 28 lands. 28 is fine. I'm up to 27 in the Obosh deck. I don't know. It's fine. What format was that? Was the Aetherworks Marvel Nimble Mongoose? Oh, it wasn't Nimble Mongoose. It was Winding Constrictor, which is the other Nimble. Like, that's not the same card at all. But it was standard. Well, I'm gonna double block, right? So just like a lot of loose thoughts again on archetype I've played a ton of. But boy do I love Reduced Rebel. I like love that card more than life itself. And it's like not close to good enough. Okay, maybe not more than life itself, but a lot. They're probably a 3rd Omnath, I guess, with that attack. We have 6 mana. I think we still block. Winding Constrictor? No, it's the 2 mana. 2 mana, 2/2, discard a card, +1/+1. So it was like a Madness Enabler. I maybe still have it. No, I think I deleted all my old standard decks. Yeah. Damn it. This would have been like 7 years ago or something. It was so juicy though. Noose Constrictor, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, so Noose Constrictor, like you could discard so like one thing, you were a fervent visions deck, so like to some extent Noose Constrictor would just like deal a ton of damage and you like didn't care so much about cards. But you could also discard Fiery Temper. There's also the Worm. The Worm was really bad, but I was playtesting it. It was basically the Roar of the Worm remix where you would eternalize it, get a 4-mana 6/6 if you discarded it. So you could discard that, make a 4-mana 6/6. Wasn't very good though. What's crazy is like we might beat this. Yeah, I love Fevered Visions. I played a lot of Fevered Visions in Standard. Yeah, Honored Hydra, thank you. All these card names I haven't thought about in so long. We still have 8 reanimation spells in the deck to draw into. We haven't drawn a single one in 25 cards. Which may sound bad, but it's really good for our like top deck potential right now. Yeah, I want a PPTQ with Fevered Visions control, I think. Why not kill all 3? Oh, sorry, 2 Dicky Hero, 1 to the ones. Just a mistake is why. I just made a mistake. Just made a mistake. 2/2/1, you kill 3. I see. Dude, I hate making mistakes. I like feel physical pain when I make mistakes on the stream. It's just an immediate slew of Spike, you fucked up. Okay, we have 8 reanimation spells. We have 3 looks this next turn. Although, I guess we get Bitter Reunion, Haste, Archon if we draw Footsteps. Oh, hey, we got 5 mana now. That is a Titania, kind of old school tag. So we're gonna take 4 here also. Wait, did we not take 4? We're taking 4 now to the Heath. It is so crazy that we might win. I don't know how many endurances they're playing. If obviously they just have another endurance, we're toast. Oh. We might lose. We might lose. Starting to think there's a chance. We could draw perfect. We could maybe. Wait, stop. It's too much. Your turn is taking too long. Wait, they got nothing? Or does it they get Omnath? They get Omnath, okay. I have 1 Archon in the yard. Just gonna put the other one in there. Draw Persist. Okay, I did draw Footsteps, so if I don't even think this is out. I mean, I can haste the Archon. They didn't have Endurance. I don't have an Undying effect right now. Maybe if I draw Fury. They sack Risen Reef. Makes sense. So if I draw Untapped Land, I can Malakir Rebirth this. That'll be up to 13. They'll sack here, and I'm still dead. So I can still... I don't think Fury does it either. Maybe, honestly, like, not killing the Kikira. Okay, well. Fair enough. Okay, so let's be in on the Thoughtseizes, since their main graveyard hate is going to be Endurance, likely. They could have some amount of Rest in Peace. I think they're probably just going to have 4 Endurance, though. Could have a Sanctifier. Rebirth loses life too, yeah. I mean, we're just dead, I guess. Just be dead. Do I want to trim a Fury? I think trimming a Fury is okay. Just not very good early. Terminate looks pretty good. Terminate is not a card I would board in, and I did not board it in, I guess. I know Terminate says destroy target creature, and they have creatures in their deck, but I'd rather kill their creatures with Furies and Archons, and they're also like just like such a slow creature deck too. If I'm not bringing a tournament for this matchup, Murktide and Titan is what the Terminates are for, not for Elementals. I know that they have creatures in their deck, but that's not the matchup for it. We also need to face a Ragavan entire league. Yeah, I think I only played against one Ragavan last night. Wow, that just worked? Kind of. Alright, let's hit him for 5. Not super surprised to see Teferi. Thankfully we have Spyro and another Reunion and Footsteps. We got stuff. They didn't have an Endurance earlier, or if they did, they've sandbagged it and we've lost. Although we can Thoughtseize now. They have another Veil of Summer, which stinks. They have a Risen Reef, which is okay. Kind of. I feel like I have to take the Reef, actually. Like, letting them go Reef into Evoke Fury is just so bad for me. The Veil is also really bad, though. Interesting. Veil stops just what Archon trigger. It stops all Archon triggers on the turn, so if I was going like Undying it, it's kind of awkward. What did they reveal? Omnath. Then they Fury pitched us. Wait, pitch another Rin at 6? So they drew Rin for turn. Blackcleave Cliffs strikes again. Maybe they cycle Veil if I Footsteps Pyro. Could also find a Thoughtseize. That's so tough. Maybe we should have taken the Veil, but honestly, like that Reef was such a nightmare too. Yeah, Sunday's gonna be Dark Souls stream. Fury, Footstep Fury. It doesn't seem... I feel like we're just using all of our resources to lose the game if we do that. They didn't fetch end of turn either. Thinking about Blood Moon, maybe. Obviously hoping they tap out, like they like draw Fury or something, because that's not super likely. Maybe we'll just draw untap land for Fury. Then a repeat turn, another Blackcleave Cliffs. Yeah, I think I should have taken the Veil more I'm thinking about it. Pretty toast. Oof. 60 conversions, 0 binding. Yeah, that'd be my guess. These Oath of Nisses are always so hard to me to evaluate. They always look so medium. Second Reunion for 5 damage was also wrong because they have Planeswalker. Well, the turn that I sacked Reunion, we didn't know that they had Teferi in their hand, so I think just like... I feel like second Reunion for 5 damage is fine. I could just be wrong. It felt fine to me, though. To like just not play around Teferi. And even if they have Teferi, I have another Reunion in my hand at that point. I don't know. So we have an extra mana, we could just spend it to deal 5. It's a conversation, I suppose. Can't Feign Death. Oath of High Fury, Assault 2 count seems good. Oath Finding removal for you then. Yeah, I don't know. It's a ponder for sure. Okay, we're dead. Alright, 3-0. No, not 3-0 to 3-2, but 3-2 that league. I think losing to that green-red graveyard hate tribal deck, I'm okay there. Could have played that match better for sure. I don't think that the Kahira misplay game 1 cost us. I feel like my big decision there was I just couldn't beat the Veil of Summer. The Risen Reef was also like a nightmare card. But I actually couldn't beat the Veil of Summer there, so I needed to take it, I think.